gotta win.
Get a job. J-O-B. Artists, you should go and get a job. I don't know how many times am I going to say this. Sure.
They take basimula bara okay fa because of me.
Yeah.
I paid for that. I did that. Ke nna ne ke reka di pouches tse di ready. They claim you. So for you to be okay, to be safe, free to open up your wings, how far can you fly? You need to find your own. Mar, there's not a single session where in the Bible where you hear, I will send an angel to come and collect my worship.
Yes.
The worship goes directly to the author.
There are people who want to use you for their own benefits.
Yeah.
This is why discernment is very important. This is why opening your eyes is very important.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, there's a lot of pastors who can separate worship from gospel music. There's a lot
worship.
Of people, there's a lot of people
who
music,
think, gospel
who
music.
think when you sing Rea Moleboha, that's gospel and we are going to heaven. But they don't even understand that there has to be a spirit that is ushering that Rea Moleboha at the end of the day.
Yes.
There's gospel music, right? Which is a genre, right? That's an industry.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's an industry. And remember, if it's an industry, it's all about sales.
Sales.
Yes.
Yeah, like when you like I'm taking it. Sure. Let me not disturb. Sure.
So it's all about sales, right? And then we have worship, which is about God. It's about feeding
the spirit, as you said.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is sustaining.
I keep on working every day.
Looking for the right gift for your partner on that special day? TMDS Africa is here to help you find the right piece. With a plethora of jewelry for men and women, you are bound to be the epitome of attraction. You can find our stores at Shop Number 1, 2nd floor, 100 Car Street, Newtown Junction Mall in Johannesburg. Contact us now at 078 614 1842 or email tmdsafrica@gmail.com. Celebrating life's special moments since 2012.
I'm a star that will never fall, even if you wish. But I drip on the game with my patience. I'ma innovate the game, that's my aim and dream. My dream to copy pens over AMG. I give my heart to music at the early age. Even you hard work every day, you will pay homage. Shout out to those who believe in the boy. I make music.
This is season from Prima Studio, and as you know, I always bring you good stuff. Blind, good stuff. If you see me, you see Christmas. You must know. Every time you see me, it's Christmas. I don't care whether it's June, it's March, it's April. Oh, it was April Fool yesterday. Hey, I haven't seen any pranks so far. But yeah, man, big shout out to each and every one. Go event in Yako playground first. You guys didn't trust me. I gave my winners tickets and they pulled through. Yeah, they experienced VIP. Yeah, they were in the VIP. Yeah, as you know. But we off that one. You're gonna see the work as we come on the channel with a little poster and show you guys what's happening there. And I hope you guys are gonna enjoy and love what we did today. Mr. OJ Fikeng, yeah, which is one of I don't really like calling people local artists, but for the sake of the viewers, one of the local artists around Sekhakheng who are doing very well and who are rising to be the next Benjamin Dube of our generation. Are you good, my guy?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm nice, man.
Sure.
No, I love speaking so highly of people because I understand the God we serve.
Yeah.
He's the God of miracles,
Yeah.
You can be here, the next moment you are there. He says 1 day to me is equals to 1,000 years, and 1,000 years to me is equals to 1 day. So he can change your life anytime.
Yeah.
Are you good?
I'm excellent.
And you are chill, right? You always like this.
Yeah. It's kind of weird though.
Yeah, how weird. If you don't do it feels weird because I be like, hey, this guy is super chill. I'm not used to being around people who are super chill.
Like I'm kind of an introvert until I get on stage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so half the time I'm like this dull and
very chilled.
Very chilled, yeah.
Ah man, that's weird. That's weird. Funny how most introverts they have something that they do in front of people that makes them like extroverts. I've met a lot of people who are introverts. They are introverts in their own space, but most of the time when they are out, they are different.
Yeah, the gift becomes a heart.
Yeah. Hi man, we're gonna talk. We're gonna have you on the chat for today and get to learn about Mr. OG Fikeng. But before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe, hit that like, hit that share. Yes, sir. We're gonna start it like this, right?
Okay.
Usually when you come into my podcast, you introduce yourself, Uguti, who you are, where you're from, what you do.
That's a long list, but I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
My name is OJ Fikeng. Ke mosimane fela fumana mo go teng fale. Ko modimo a nnang ko teng.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, that's the truth.
Yeah.
I'm a musician. I don't actually like to classify myself to a genre. I'm a musician, of all sorts. I do music in a very broad and open space. I'm a worshiper. The whole thing of gospel, I don't like to classify it as to a genre because I'm doing it for God.
Yeah.
I'm doing it for God. So that is something that I would label aside.
Yeah.
Worship is on its own. Give it at that.
Okay.
So yeah.
No, we can go there. We can go there. We can just go there straight because we are there.
So yeah, man. I'm basically this just I'm also a businessman.
Yeah, an entrepreneur.
And yeah, I try
Thank
to
God.
make things happen.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is funny though, because a lot of people who are into the music space, most of them, especially locally, they focus only on music and not the business out of it or other businesses in order for them to grow and eat. And this is why they having it difficult. So if you are also into business.
Yes. Hey, music about challenge. Music about challenge. Without money, it's kind of hard to get onto space. For you to get a studio session, you need money.
Yeah.
This equipment we are busy on. It's money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to have something. You gotta have something to put on the table.
Yeah.
So if you don't have it, we can struggle musician for a very long time. It's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any job, get a job that's going to fund your skill. I mean, even people who go to university pay their school fees. So the music, it's the same way. You need to fund your craft. You need to fund your craft.
Yeah.
No one is going to come from somewhere
And find it for you.
10,000. For what?
Yeah.
For what? For a talent or you are still testing it out. No.
Mm.
No. You need to do something, fund your own. How's about claim? They take okay, offer because of me.
Yeah.
I paid for that. I did that. Can none get the pouches that they read because they claim you. So for you to be okay, to be safe, you are not free to open up your wings over how far can you fly. You need to find your own. Find your own gift. That's the whole point.
That's the whole point of it, to fund your dreams,
Fund
work.
it.
Hey, I don't know how many artists I've interviewed, but few of them I've always told them the same way, that you need to fund your dream. You need to work.
You have to.
Because as I was telling you, that for me this is passion, right?
Yeah.
I don't get offended if somebody doesn't have anything to give me,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always make sure that I become I make my film and television business work, so I can upgrade this studio. Time will come whereby people will have to pay serious money for this. But for now, so I always tell people that the reason why you see all these things is because I work.
Yeah.
I support this.
Yeah.
There's money. So no one can offend me because I hardly go to my family and say, "Kupa, ntegele mic,"
Yeah.
No, I buy everything from my own pocket.
Exactly.
I remember before we started the podcast, we could have started a lot of things, and these guys came to me and be like, "Let's all combine money and raise money and buy equipment." And I'll be like, "Nah, I know for sure that something might come in between us. But now, what will happen to the equipment? Be like, if you want us to build a joint venture, buy a mic, I'm gonna buy a camera. This other one will buy this, so that everyone, when we go, everyone takes this thing and go. But if we join the money, it becomes a problem.
And then it becomes a problem.
Yeah,
What happens to the dream now?
it dies.
It dies.
You know, it dies. And others are about offend. You know, offense has killed so many dreams, you
Yeah.
know. So we don't want to kill someone, because I remember saying to somebody, when the Bible says, thou shalt not kill, it doesn't mean only a gun or a knife or you killing literally a body. It means even the words you use.
There's a lot.
Yeah, that can kill someone's belief, someone's dream,
Your
someone's.
actions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the things we do, it's about actions. It's not about just murdering a body and it's lifeless there. It's what you do to somebody else that can affect progress that is happening around them.
Ish.
Yeah. A lot of ministers, they don't know that ministry or music is the most sensitive music in the body of Christ.
Yeah.
And I want us to talk about that
Yeah.
because so many people, they just don't know that grabbing a mic and just singing one song, you are provoking spirituality and you are bringing so much in the presence of the church. It's like music, it's opening certain dimension that is bringing other angels or spirits into the presence of the Lord. How familiar or what can you teach us about the ministry of music?
Ish, it's a very sensitive thing, you know. If we read actually in the Bible, you will hear certain portions, you know, about God sending angels to answer prayers and whatnot.
Yes.
But there's not a single session where in the Bible where you hear, I will send an angel to come and collect my worship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
The worship goes directly to the author.
Mm.
The finish. It
Okay.
goes straight to God.
Mhm.
I wanna a middleman.
No middleman.
Yeah, between Modimo and worship.
I want to someone Yes.
But you would come across portions where
Yes,
there's
like
worship.
offering.
Yeah, where you come across the systems. No, I'm talking about, you know, worship as you being a worshiper and just worshiping God.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when you pray, God can send an angel.
Mm-hmm.
But there are instances where you know, the people were worshiping and Mudimo wanted to establish his presence because he feeds off worship.
Yes.
So it's a very sensitive thing, man. And I think a lot of people are not aware of it. This whole thing ya worship as a papadi because or replaces someone or na as na middleman and now worshiper. You know, Mudimo was feeding off worship.
Yes.
Yeah, at the end of the day, so when you worship, you must know hore, it's you and God. An angel in between. When the people were singing and worshiping, they started by praying when they were praying for the walls of Jericho to fall. It didn't happen when they were praying. But when they started worshiping, the walls fell off because when God comes, he wants to establish his presence.
Yeah.
So it's a very sensitive thing. Worshippers.
Yeah. I don't know how will you feel about the question I'm gonna ask you, but I'm gonna ask either way, right? me, I'm one person. When it comes to the body, I'm very sensitive,
Yeah.
and it's because when I'm seated, I learn a lot. God teaches me so many things when I'm just seated, and sometimes I get excited when I listen to certain men of God speaking about it from TV or from YouTube. Like, this is what I was thinking about. So God is confirming what I was talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed something which is destroying a lot of worshippers,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it like this. Let me give you a scenario back. Fast forward, back. Let me back forward. Hey, backward. Hey, back forward.
Yeah. Let's backtrack.
Yeah. Last year around October, I was called to film a funeral go Bujating.
Okay.
When I got there, I met this other brother. They sometimes visit our church, you know, because it's from the same spiritual father.
Okay.
So we've been broken into branches. So Butsanagodi branching today. Now we are here as the sons of the spiritual father, right?
Okay.
Now he now where I submit, he submit on the other pastor. So he comes to me, he's crying, he's complaining that he's broke, he's been playing for different bands and churches and but now the pastors are not paying him, right? I wasn't focused on people who were not paying him because that was not what I was interested in. My question, my concern was we have where we fellowship, where we submit,
Yeah.
but he's playing elsewhere in different places
Mm-hmm.
because he's after money. Then I asked
Okay.
him a simple question: how many people lay their hands on you? Couldn't
Okay.
answer that one.
Yeah.
Right. So I said to him, my question, my concern about you people who are into the music side of the church, because they are worshippers and they are artists. And I want us to talk about that. But
Mm.
before we go there, be like, I have a problem with you artists because you think you are worshippers in the house. Why am I saying that? Every time when I say I have 10,000 in my pocket and I want you to come play 3 days, and I say, I'm going to give you the 10K, come and play. You're going to leave the night of worship in your father's house. You're going to chase the 10K.
Mm.
But has God said, go there? Because there's a difference between when you pray and God leads you and when you go because you saw the back. And I ask him, how many people have laid their hands on your head? Because if you can tell me that question, I'm going to tell you, somewhere, somehow, I'm concerned because you are changing. Few years back, you were not like this. You used to flow. But now, it's like your life is becoming difficult and you are not seeing that. So when it comes to you, right, when is it right as a worshiper to receive something? Okay, let me put it. Do you think it's right to be paid or not? When is it right to take money or not take money? Should worshippers be paid? Why is it that most of the people they can worship here and there and there? Is that a good thing according to you?
Okay, the thing is this: there's there's gospel music, right, which is a genre, right? That's an industry.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
That's an industry. And remember, if it's an industry, it's all about sales.
Sales.
Yes.
Ay. Yeah, like when you like I'm taking it. Sure. Let me not disturb. Sure.
So it's all about sales, right? And then we have worship, which is about God. It's about feeding
The spirit, as you
spirit.
said.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, that is sustaining you. So we live in a world where it's a lot of people can't separate between the two.
Yes.
Right? There's a lot of pastors who can separate worship from gospel music. There's a
And
lot
worship.
of people. Yeah, there's a lot of people
And
who
music, gospel
who
music.
think when you sing Rea Moleboha, that's gospel that we are going to have. But they don't even understand that there has to be a spirit that is ushering that Rea Moleboha at the end of the day.
Yes.
So now we have a case whereby I get a booking. Right? There's a show. Kitimetso House is making having an event.
Yeah. Sure.
It's an event. He's selling tickets.
Yeah.
Doing what that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I need you to pull through, right? Okay, so there's money involved, right? I have to leave my comfort zone.
And you go where the bag is.
Come to your event.
Sure.
Remember, my gift also, there's a lot of people that are feeding from my gift at the end of the day. Especially if, let me make it I get the artist, make it a pastor scenario, right? I have a man that I have submitted under, that I go to every day. Anytime he wants me to come, I will come. I've submitted under this man. So now when you are a pastor, you are calling me to come for a worship night that you are hosting at your church. Now you are demanding me that I have to leave my father's house, and come and render services to your house, services that maybe you do not have, or something you just want to add.
Okay.
Then we have a lot of things that come into play. For me, that's petrol, number one.
Okay.
I have to take a bath.
Okay.
For all of that to happen. So and not saying there's people who actually are making it a sale, but it's not actually. A person would give you a quote and say, for instance, just give me 1.5.
Sure.
I'm coming to your event.
Sure.
And this is a problem to a lot of pastors. They would say, no, you are singing for money, but they would pay you a mega 60,000 to come and sing.
That's my concern.
So if it's a local artist, he's singing for money, but when he pays Bruno to come and sing, he's not doing it for money.
This is why I can't separate anyone from anywhere. I like it when you said there's an industry and there's the worship of the Father. And the reason why I gave you a scenario whereby your father is hosting and you gave an example that, let's say K2. Big shout out K2. I know you're gonna watch this. And I know K2 is hosting.
Yeah.
And K2 posed to you as a brother.
Yeah.
I said, bro, I'm hosting this and this and that. I don't know. When you are there, we kill. We always kill.
Yeah.
So pull through.
Yeah.
But now your father, on the other hand,
Yeah, when he goes, it's a different story.
he has a night. He has an all night. There's all night in your church. So you see, when I was telling that brother, I said to him, me, the prayer that I pray as a creator, right, is for God to bless me enough
Yeah.
that I don't need to depend on my gift to create
Okay.
income, because I can be invited to come and preach, for example, right?
Yeah.
Let's say a call comes to, and we're gonna get there because I don't know where it acts where Paul was supposed to go and preach in Asia,
Yeah.
but an angel directed him to Macedonia.
Yeah.
Right? I'm coming there. I the prayer that I always pray is that, Mudim, you see, I'm working here.
Mm.
Let this give me money, because
Mm.
I don't want to reach a point whereby your presence is gonna send me to go and help in Rustenburg,
Mhm.
and I don't have petrol to go to Rustenburg,
Mm.
and I have to call the man of God in Rustenburg and say, "Fund this one," because he's not gonna see me helping. He's gonna think he's paying me.
Mm.
That's where the confusion comes, because you are calling me to help there, but you didn't provide the resources for me to go and help. Which I've had this interview, this gospel, she's huge in South Africa. She was saying she had a friend, her friend was ministering as a worshiper. She was charging for everything. Then it reached to a point whereby they have this conversation. And she said to her friend, you should charge so that when you pull through, these people, they must know that you eat wara 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 wara. The friend didn't listen to her. Then one day they called him. He was broke and he borrowed the money from her. She refused because she said to her, we charge for this and this and that. But now,
This sounds like somebody from Limpopo, but okay.
I don't know where she's from. But now, my concern was one, bruh. My concern was one. There's an industry and there's a gospel. Freely you receive, freely what?
You shall receive.
Freely you receive, freely you give.
Yes.
This is the gospel we preach.
Yes.
When we hear, if someone was to call me to minister, as long as God has allowed me to, the prayer that I always pray, give me the means to get there.
Mhm.
Right? This is why we do 9 to 5. This is why we do business. This is why we do this and that. I remember listening to TB Joshua, and he said most of the stadiums he had booked to make his prayer sessions, his prayer meetings,
Yeah.
he pays them from his own pocket.
Okay.
You get?
Yeah.
He doesn't have like your sponsors. He doesn't have like anyone doing this. He said the reason why is because he has learned that when the people pay you, they control you.
Control you. Yeah.
Which is why a lot of ministers, they find themselves trapped. Because I know a man of God who returned a car because the person who bought him the car was from the other kingdom. So he wanted to control him that we're going to get this car. But after I buy you this car, you're not going to preach about this and this and this and this and that.
Mhm.
And he'd be like, if this is how he's going to limit the gospel, then you rather have your car. And I'm going to go, I'm working. I haven't bought even a single car. So I realized that when the money is involved, that's where the problem comes. Because now you're going to say, hey, my father is hosting the thingy. And then mind you, I don't like this thing in churches where my people like, no, we don't do that. We trust God. But let's say when you are there, we know like the gift that you have, it connects people easily to worship and pray. Don't you see this as an attack to you that instead of you praying here, you are taken to an event, Yahoo's, where you're gonna be paid there, but you are taken from here. Has God ever said, which brings me to this question, how do we know as ministers where are we gonna minister?
I pray it's very important.
Yeah.
But before I get you said something. So I think you funding your gift and everything
Mm-hmm.
like if let's say we have an event this week
This week,
at
sure.
church, right? I call you like, bring your equipment, bring your podcast, what. Let's have you do this, right?
Sure.
You come, right? I want to show you how many. How sometimes some people have another limits, right? That's where finances will come in. Okay? You do it out of your own pocket today. Okay? It's fine. You come. Ke a go tlogela. After 2 weeks, I'll call you again. Come. We have this. It's something you don't have the budget for, right? For you to bring these things, it's mine. I get for you. I get you come, even a repetition of that thing over and over and over and over and over. Hanzo ira yalo camera ya senyega. Hanzo ira yalo mic wa senyega. And it's not a conversation that you and I have, or whether my camera is in a certain condition. I expect you to come because when I get God is funding you, you must come. You must come. That's where a lot of us start saying, but you can't just keep on calling me when you are creating expenses for me. It becomes a problem. But that's why we end up saying, if you are going to move me out of my comfort zone, you must pay me. And when it comes to money, to worshipers and musicians, who started the conversation? But it's fine. Because I don't think it's something that people are willing to talk about.
Nah, we're gonna talk about it because there's a conversation that's so interesting, and I love talking about it. I think it's my first time talking about it.
Yeah. So who started the conversation here, Chalet? But it's fine. So prayer is very important for you to know where to go. I was speaking to the bishop about a certain pastor in Rustenburg we invited to come and minister at his church. And I said to Bishop, Bishop, you know they invited me. The money is good. When I saw how much those people were offering, my heart almost jumped. But when I sat down, I felt, this is not the place for you to go. And by that time, I was dead broke. Dead broke is natural. When is my next meal going to come? Business was also slow. So prayer is very important, especially when you are dealing with when you are within the music industry as a worshiper, not as a musician, as a worshiper. It's very important for you to know these things. Don't go to that church.
Yeah.
You shall see them by the fruits of their spirit.
Yeah.
Prayer is very important for you you need to be sensitive as well to the Holy Spirit. Because he will tell you.
Yeah.
He will tell you about our sky.
Last year, June, I attended this service. The man of God was from. Where was he from? And I'll tell you something. Where was he from? I think Ghana, Cameroon.
Okay.
He was from Cameroon. He says when he was telling his story, he says he was booked by a pastor locally around Skakling. So he says while the pastor, like God spoke to him to come and pray for this man of God's church, right? So this man of God has been delaying because he has been saying, no, we have to book for you. We have to find a suit for you since you are coming for that guy said, if you would have mentioned that this is the issue, we would have long time handled this because God, first of all, has never said to me, he's going to give me a star. He said, I must come and pray for your ministry because he needs prayers.
Yeah.
So he says, he came with his team. He says, the church raised the money for them to come, right? Because they also have business and whatever. I don't know how they got the money. Let me not lie. They came this side. When they came this side, this guy was like, I'm going to book for you. Be like, no, we're booking for who? You're going to take the money that you booked us for, get it back, put it here in the church.
Yeah.
He says, now, what you going to do? You are going to sleep with us here at church. So the whole team, they were sleeping in church because they came there to what? To pray for the church, right? So now, as you say, I'm one person, my guy. I'm learning discernment and praying about things. I can't go, as you said, where my spirit doesn't lead me to go. And I've learned one thing, that in the body of Christ, no, Jesus Christ says, let your no be a no, a yes be a yes.
Yes.
Don't do what you don't want to do. If you invite me over and over and over and over, as you say, we spoke here off air that you reach a level of noticing that there are people who want to use you for their own benefits.
Yeah.
This is why discernment is very important.
It's
This is
very
why
important.
opening your eyes is very important.
Yeah.
If you want to use me to pull the crowd, I'm gonna see. You know, as long as I haven't reached that level whereby God is speaking to me, that level whereby, you know, God is still speaking to me like in a certain level, I'm gonna reach a point whereby I know you are trying to use me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that is where you start to see barking wolves under sheepskin.
Yeah.
The people who want to use the gifts or the things that God gave you for their own good, using God as a bait for you to fall in that you are giving into the church. So I've noticed such people, and I'm learning to separate business from a lot of things. This is why currently I tell people, when it comes to media stuff, this is business. Everybody
It
knows,
is.
right? This is business.
is.
This is business. When you come to me, because I'm gonna come there. There's a place that God has sent me to go and shoot for free.
Yeah.
I know it's there. It's in my heart. I know there I'm gonna give. Like there's nothing that I have to expect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to like contact the people and just tell them that I'm gonna pull through with my camera. Don't worry, everything is sorted.
Yeah.
So God got me covered for such.
Yeah.
So there are places that I know. Here, I'm not gonna charge. It's strictly lungile, like off his pocket.
Yeah.
But here,
Mhm.
even if you can be highly, no, you have to pay me. I've shot, my guy. Of all the years, I've shot so many places. I've shot places, churches, out of churches. They pay me because I come as a business.
Exactly.
If I want to come and listen to the service, I'm gonna leave everything and come as me. You know, so which takes me back to the thing you mentioned, that it's important to pray. And if you are a minister who can't see, ask your spiritual parents, because so many ministers, they worship in this place, they don't even negotiate. You bet they don't know where the spiritual fathers are. Many, they just go because they believe the gift, you know. But you don't know if God has given you under me, it's like you are a sheep under me. I'm the one who's gonna account spiritually for every attack or whatever that comes in your life.
Yeah.
So if you don't tell me these kind of things, you find yourself in positions whereby now but and that's how a lot of people are attacked.
Yeah.
This is why I spoke to you that so many people now who stand in front of the church and minister, many of them, they don't minister the Holy Spirit because they inherited things.
Yeah.
Because if I invite you and I have the bag and be like, hey OJ, hey my guy, I want you to come in, I'm gonna give you 20K. What else do you want? You be like, I want 7-star hotel. Be like, oh, sorted.
I'm a Levy class.
Yeah. But now I know the moment you step in that premises, it's an initiation for you.
Yeah.
That's how a lot of them are trapped. Because we're gonna cut it short there. It's a lot. I had like this spirit was saying, I was listening to this guy who used to be P. Diddy's producer. He's born again now. He was saying there are premises. I think also Dr. Dewey mentioned it in his interview. There are premises that are prepared.
Yeah.
When you enter such places, God can't hear your prayers. That's why a lot of people are slaughtered and are initiated.
Yeah.
So imagine stepping into that church. Whether you come anointed, if God has never sent you there, you're in trouble. Yeah. So you're gonna cut it short on that one. It's something that I wasn't prepared to talk about, but I was diverted to talk about, right? Let's talk about the business within the music space. So many artists are coming now, they are rising. I've met so many people who even in they are into music, they want to grow within the music thing. But a lot of them, they just don't know how to monetize this as an artist. As an artist, how do you end up saying, this is how we build a brand. This is how the money goes, especially as a starting solo artist before we soon need the management team. What is how do you build yourself as a brand and package yourself to sell yourself as an artist?
Well, it all goes back to the things that we spoke about quickly, you know.
Yeah, but to Mr. Mike.
You have to learn. These young guys don't want to learn.
Yeah.
It's a problem. You you gotta be able to sit down,
Sure.
listen, and learn to the people who have done it before.
Mm.
It's all right.
Yeah.
And another thing about they get too excited. Relax, calm down. calm down. I've seen a lot of these new guys become too excited.
Mm-hmm.
They have too many expectations.
Mm.
They don't take time but to study the craft. You also have to study the basics, study paperwork,
Mm.
how to register yourself as an artist, who
Mm.
do you talk to.
Mm.
You don't know gore go na le bo the places like bo Kapaso, Samro.
Mm.
You gotta learn all of that. Tse di tlo go labelang as an artist. How do you brand yourself as an artist? You go to workshops, you ask, you sit down, you know AI. You can literally go to ChatGPT. How do I brand myself as an artist? They will offer a whole list of things.
Mm.
So you learn,
Mm.
learn,
Mm.
learn,
Yeah.
learn. Very importantly, man,
Money.
get a job.
Yeah.
Music industry right now, you won't do nothing without money.
Without money.
Yes. Unless what on upon yeah, Baruti and whatnot. So
Get a job.
get a job.
Job. Artists, you should go and get a job. I don't know how many times am I gonna say this. Sure.
Maybe look we're not a full-time musician, you're wasting your time. You're just going to be a part of a sermon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody when he's tired of paying you, I want to get a sermon. So get a job.
Mm.
Get a job. Get a job in the shop.
Yeah.
Find your gift.
Find your gift.
Yeah.
Up. Very cool. But we haven't really learned about your music journey, which is one of the most important questions that you usually get on every interview.
Yeah.
When did the music start? How did it start? How did you identify the talent? And how did you get to be the brand that we see today? Because I've visited your channel some day ago and that's what you used to do back in it. Like, yeah. Yeah. So how did it start? Man, just take us back into the music
Yo,
thing.
I started at a very early age. I'm from a very musical family.
Mm.
And my dad was a pastor, apostolo, and he was a musician all the way from Botswana, not some keyboard, and he was also a singer. So my big brother Moruti Stevie, may his soul rest in peace. I think when I was about 10, 11, he started giving me piano lessons and whatnot.
Mm.
So I've got another sister, she taught me how to sing.
Mm.
So it grew from that. I started playing keyboard to again. And as I grew up, one day I bumped into a guy, Barasiwa, he's a rapper.
Mm.
Uncle Pantala software, Fruity Loopsy, and then now.
That's how we became a producer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, from there, I grew, then met some other guys before Farago, they showed me Bookie Beats and whatnot. Now the whole scenario changed. So
Yeah.
I grew up within, the church space, learning the industry, gospel music. Church taught me like gospel music. Hip hop taught me music.
Yeah.
To like learn music. Hip hop taught me the industry, how things work and whatnot.
Sure.
So yeah, the softwares and whatnot. And yeah, from there I started spreading my wings,
Yeah.
then I started learning other genres.
Yeah.
Going to house, going to this, going to that, jazz and whatnot.
You are versatile.
Yeah, so I said, one day I just decided to work on a hip hop song, and I said, "Oh, okay, hip hop is doable. Let's go R&B." Did R&B, and I was like, this works. Jazz,
Mm.
this works, and I was like, why stop now?
Mm.
So as you grow, you start learning certain things, and you're like, nah,
Secular. Yeah.
yeah. I'm actually more inclined to the gospel because Vele, that's how this whole thing started at the end of the day. So, yeah.
That's crazy. Have you noticed that most of us we learned all these things in Egypt? Then we then later came to Israel with the knowledge.
Yeah.
But now the challenge comes when you have to split the two. When you have to split the two now. When you have to separate from Egypt. Now that's where the struggle comes. Because the secular wants you be like, no, you're good in church, but you can still continue.
Yeah.
But now you feel like this is wrong, man. How did you end up separating from the goat mentality as a ship?
No, I think it's a matter of when you still go on the way to the deal and you learn to discipline yourself. At the end of the day, the spirit of the Holy Spirit acts as a comfort.
Yeah.
It will always try to shield you and show you, the right ways to go.
Yeah.
So it's not an easy thing to do. Some people buy la ruri. Some people just go and then they are forgotten. They are gone.
Yeah.
So it takes Luena to come back and still seek God,
Yeah.
for guidance. Not that he's not there when you're doing other genres. That's all right.
Yeah.
And funny enough, other genres will move faster than
Then the gospel.
than the gospel.
It's very slow. Yeah, I noticed.
Because with gospel there's a lot you gotta deal with. Like, there's church politics or and it's chaos, and that's where we push most of our stuff in churches. So outside of that, there's too many things that are blocking you from accessing certain things.
Yeah.
Within in the world, it takes me to know you. You are going to take me and put me at an event. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all right. But in a church, if I know you, you still have to go and talk to other people.
Yeah.
And those other people, one of them might not even like you.
Yeah.
Not saying I'm taking the church bad.
Yeah.
Because that's actually what happens. Somebody will just come and say, "Hi, oh, Ramit, sister bad." She's not going to come and sing for us in church. What else in the world, they don't have time for that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you've got talent. Can you sing? Yes. They put you on stage.
Yeah.
That's it. So it's kind of
That.
a tricky thing.
I think it's also a matter of, I see it as a matter of discipline.
Yeah.
And growing you, because you then have to separate, because anybody can sing a gospel song.
Yeah.
That's why secular artists are now singing gospel songs.
Yeah.
And people confuse them with worship. It's
Yeah,
not.
it's not.
Because it's about the vessel which is given.
Yeah.
So I think when it comes to church, we are more concerned of who is singing
Yeah.
than what is he singing, especially true
Yeah.
churches. Who? Because true worshippers will worship him in
truth.
spirit and in truth.
Yeah.
So it's about who is doing it, not about the voice. It's not about the talent. But in the world, so do you have the voice? Can you rap? Because I can rap too.
Yeah,
I can write verses. I can write
drop bars.
lines. I can drop. I can go. I can make flows. And I can flow.
Yeah.
But now when it comes to church, it's about who you are. How do you
Yeah.
spend your day during the week? What do you do?
What
Do
do
you
you do?
pray?
There's
Do
a
you
lot.
meditate?
Yeah.
Is there such? Because when you stand in front of people, you are ministering.
Yeah.
This is why when you are as an artist, you perform.
Yeah.
But as a worshiper, you are ministering.
You are
You are a minister.
ministering,
It's
yeah.
not only pastors who are ministering,
Yeah.
but also worshipers. So when it comes to church, it's a bit of that. So this is why other pastors, those who have like big churches that have like studios and everything, some they have to check if God has called you to sing
Yeah.
and sing to the world, because there are people who are meant to be here,
Yeah.
and others are meant to travel and do all these things,
yeah.
So yeah, it goes with that. So growing up in church, you were taught music. Music has been part of you. You meet friends, now they teach you all these things. Now, how do you then say, now I'm branding myself as an artist? What happens to these people that you grew up with that brought you to be where you are?
It doesn't change. There's a lot that you can do without you being in the front line in the industry. I worked on production for a very long time. Just because I'm a worshiper doesn't mean I have to stop being a producer. I still do that. I still do production. I'm not in the front row of things. I'm more behind the scenes as well. Because, I still have to look at my brand as well as a gospel artist, how
It goes.
the Christian world views me at the end of the day.
Yeah, which is tricky.
Yeah, which is tricky now, because now when I have to now appear in the gospel industry and push sales as a gospel artist, and then when at a worship sense, it becomes a problem for me to push sales because he's hanging around Majitaba straight cap, and it's in a tricky. So there's more you can do when you are behind the scenes rather than in the forefront at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, because music, we are pushing it as a business. Pushing it as a business. So, yeah, man. I go behind the scenes most of the time.
Yeah.
I go behind the scenes.
Man, the most important part of the conversation, also why you here, is that you are hosting an event
Yes.
on May.
Yes, the 2nd of May.
2nd of May. It's going to be a Friday night.
Yes.
Oh, why did you choose Friday?
Friday. I don't actually know.
You just chose the 2nd of May.
Yeah, I chose the 2nd of May because felt like, making an event on a Saturday, especially worship people have to go to church on Sunday.
Yeah.
So there's a limit to in terms of time and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
So people must get a buffet, man. People must come and eat. Tomorrow they will rest.
Yeah.
So if I make it on a Saturday, I'm now time constricted because
Yeah.
I have to
She will
consider.
Lena also.
When you are tired and you have to carry speakers in the morning.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Sure.
So I have to consider Friday works.
Yeah.
A lot of people are happy about it being
On Friday.
And you're not inconveniencing people, but never since about my on Saturday and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
Doesn't mess with a lot of people. Friday night.
Friday night.
Plus, people love going out Friday night.
Friday
there.
night, yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about the event. What's gonna be happening? Who's there? Who's gonna be cooking?
Okay, the 2nd of May, it's gonna be a night of hymns. It's actually season 2. We've had season 1. I think it was 2022. Yeah. But we are going to have a second one. We're gonna be having Minister Kitumezi.
Yeah.
Host, yes.
My G, my brother. Yeah, that's my brother, that one. Yeah.
Bima Singer, a wonderful musician as well. Minister Cindy, the hammer. Pianist E2, Pastor AB Museki.
Yeah.
Hey, it's gonna be a lot. It's
gonna be a lot.
A lot is going to be happening on that day.
Uh-huh.
There's an initial plan to this night of hymns.
Yeah.
And yes, let me step away.
Yeah.
Some of these things I'm only gonna be free to say this happened after the day. We got things that we wanted to do.
But according to the plan, it's fine.
It's fine. And it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. I get why. But it's fine.
Hey guys, you guys need to buy the tickets. Nyas Bambeze, Nyas Bambeze.
$100, man. 100 rand the fella,
$100.
Yeah.
Are you guys bought where we come from? You can buy that one too. I mean, it's one of the same. It's one of the same. Yeah. I was at the event. People didn't buy tickets, right? They refused me to give them tickets.
Okay.
We put through at the event. We had our tickets. We gave our winners tickets. Now people were forced to buy tickets now.
That's painful.
Because they couldn't be outside. Because inside it was hot. There was no way they could miss what was happening inside. So guys, please buy tickets. Don't buy them at the last gate. At the gate is more expensive, right?
It's gonna be $150 at the gate.
Yeah, so please buy tickets. I mean, it's $100, so you're saving $50. So if you say you're gonna buy the gates, it's fine, but you're gonna pay more. So in order to make things nice, buy less and just pay. Now. And then plus the hozi, plus the 2nd of May,
there's always money.
yeah. Filela lezang.
Yeah.
I mo apara ke tla nna mashonisa ke tla la di ba anything. Let's patela, man. Yeah, man, that's nice. That's fire. I saw the lineup and I was like, yo, I've never saw this before, but if you say the second thing, it means I haven't been paying attention. Plus, it's like a museum. Yeah, that place is like, it can host a lot, like capacity, and people underrate that place. The space is nice, it's wonderful. Yeah, man. Guys, pull through. Support our brother. Christians, most of us, we hardly go out. So I think this is an opportunity for us to just go out and hang around brothers and sisters, But make sure you pray, make sure you pray enough before you go out, because these kind of gathering, the enemy likes to use them to destroy in between. So if you didn't pray, you can be missing in here, So this is the light. This is your light at home. You need to pray for the light to be with you in between, because it's very important to pray. So guys, we hope to see you there. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be there, but I pray to be there. I should. I don't know if I'm gonna be there, but hopefully we're gonna pull through where we're gonna be there. Yeah.